Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we explore the journeys of visionary entrepreneurs and uncover the strategies driving their ventures forward. I'm your host, Jay Encarnacion, and today we are joined by Melissa Dawn Simpkins, the founder and CEO of Velvet Suite. Known as the First Lady of Personal Branding, Melissa brings a wealth of expertise in leadership transformation, having conditioned over 250,000 leaders across 26 plus countries through her innovative athleadership methodology. Based in Reston, Virginia, Velvet Suite, founded in 2006, is an Inc. 5000 award winning ed tech company revolutionizing enterprise leadership for global brands like Procter Gamble and the NFL. We'll be diving into her founding story, how Velvet Suite empowers leaders to win from within, and her vision for scaling this impact driven company. With that being said, let's dive right into it. Melissa, welcome to Founders Future.
Jay, thank you for having me. This is going to be fun.
Absolutely a pleasure and an honor to have you on the show. Incredible background that you have, Melissa. So truly, again, an honor to have you on today. So if we could start at the beginning for our listeners, talk a bit about what specific challenge in the leadership development space really inspired you to start Velvet Suite.
I will say that I don't know that anyone ever tagged me as a leader. It wasn't like you or a leader. It was one of these things that I grew up in a space in a town. I'm from the South. I'm from North Carolina, but before that I was was born in Indiana in the Midwest. And so I just remember being in my formative years, being very insecure, not feeling like I was really able to be the best that I could be because I had moments in my childhood where I was marginalized because I was black or because I was what's this or that. And so one of the things that I think really built me is this identity that I saw myself because my parents said, you can do this. I started to see myself as that before other people told me that I could or should or would be.
Right.
And so to me, leadership it is an identity. And for me, that has been my own personal journey of really defining for myself that I can do these things if I put in the work and if I truly tap into my why. And with my why aligning with my work, there was a whole journey to that, Jay. But in that journey, I discovered the power of purpose, and that became the platform for the company that we now know as Velvet Suite. So there's a lot to unpack there, but I will say that was one of the formative stories of leadership was just coming to understand that it wasn't a title, it was really about a sense of purpose.
Absolutely incredible. And I've seen success for so long now, Melissa. So clear as day that that drive, that purpose, what you have has really come to fruition. And look at the success that you've been able to have. Again, incredible to have you on the show walking us through that. So I would really love to get into the nuts and bolts of what you're doing with Velvet Suite, especially for our listeners. Once this airs, could very well want to come and work with you if they're not working with you already. So if you could break down for us, what the core offer is here at Velvet Suite. I know that you do the leadership arena, advisory services. How are those core offers structured for your clients, and who is the ideal client that you like to work with? So a
Mhm.
nice three-part question for you there.
Yeah, I think every great business starts with either solving a pain or unleashing a passion. And for me, the pain point that we are really addressing is that the way that leaders are built is no longer fit for the current climate. The current climate is that there's so much change, there's persistent pressure. So, leadership as a title or as a position is really old school. The new way is like, how do I lead in the flow of real world life? And how do I lead not just at work, but like, how am I making decisions at home? How am I making decisions around my time and my education? Everything is leadership if you think about you are the one who owns your brand and your value. So at Velvet Suite, we really began to look at our founder story. One of our first companies, I left corporate America. I was at P&G, left to start my own business. And I just remember that I'm smiling now because it's almost 20 years ago. And it was a great vision. It was all a dream, but the reality is a lot of work to be an entrepreneur.
Oh
But
yeah,
one of our first clients was the NFL, and we worked with over 350 rookies across the NFL. And in that process, being a woman coming into the locker room, really trying to understand the DNA of what makes elite leaders tick, right? And we spent a whole year studying these athletes to understand not just leadership in the box of their performance on the field, but like how does that translate to life? And we came up with a methodology. And so our whole approach today is coming back to that foundation and we call it athleadership. It's a philosophy, but it also is a mindset. And it really is where the elite mindset of an athlete meets the mastery of leadership to be resilient, to unlock purpose, and to perform at the next level. So you think about people today, whether they're by title in their job or whether they're by position in terms of life, we have to be able to lead through change. We have to be flexible and agile. We've got to know our why and be rooted in that so we're not pulled into all the distractions that take up our time. So the core concept of ath leadership is it's this new philosophy that this is modern leadership. This is what it looks like. We have to think agile, resilient, and aligned and well-being. Those are the four cores. We call it a raw of ath leadership. And we package that in a way that we sell that to corporations. So organizations mid-size, mid-cap, Fortune 500 who are trying to build a new generation of leaders are able to take this methodology and apply it through ed tech learning. So we have online experience called the Arena. There's a core course called the MVP Accelerator. We have athlete or pros, former pro athletes, executives. And what's also really interesting, Jay, is a correlation. I don't know if your audience knows this, but research has been done. The percentage of, can you guess the percentage of athletes executives who are former athletes? Do you know what that is?
I would say it's pretty high because of the mindset. I want to say it's in the 70% range.
Yeah, it is. It is. And for women, it's in C-suite 94%.
Incredible.
So that's not accidental. There is neuroscience and performance psychology that brings that intersection together. And so we really are untapping into that and bringing that into this conversation. So we're excited about it. Yeah.
Incredible. Incredible. So it really sounds like the core offerings there, you have the online courses, the online experiences, the advisory services, really
Mhm.
being able to take leaders to that next level
Yes.
with the methodology that you guys have really
Yes.
mastered over the last 20 years. So just amazing on that front, a beautiful productized offer to be able to scale and grow and continue to blossom over the past 19 years of success and moving forward. So walk us through, obviously you've done so much and been in the game for a while now. What's working best for you today, Melissa, on the acquisition front? So whether, you have ads that you're running successfully or social media or referrals from the last 19 years of success, what channels have been most effective for you to continue to bring in clients and leads?
Yes. So we have really been homegrown in that way. We've used a lot of what I would say traditional models. Referrals has been really strong. 96% of our clients have come from referrals.
Wow.
We also are big on founder-led marketing, so creating space for the founder story to share. And then we've also leveraged events in the past, not for events' sake, but for events to drive a platform for our customers to tell their stories, a way to bring community together, and then also an opportunity for us to market what we do and show results. I think nothing says results better than hearing it from others versus yourself. So events have been very strategic for us in that way as well.
I love it. I love it. It really sounds like you've had a ton of your success come from that referral side. And the biggest question I have for you now moving forward as you continue to grow and scale and take Velvet Suite to that next level, how are you approaching the idea of predictability? Because as we benefit, so many guests come on the show that they do rely a lot on referrals and see a lot of success, but the predictability side of it is not really there. Is that something that you are thinking about maybe implementing ads now, doing more around social media to keep that scale going, or how are you approaching that side?
Yeah, our business has been through an evolution. So what you're talking about is 2025. What
Yep.
was 19 years ago did not look like this business. We've evolved from
Absolutely.
service
Yep.
to software service, SaaS service.
Yeah.
Now we're really in a moon where we're really moving to content as a service.
Yes.
So there has been a huge shift. And as you can imagine, we all are in this disruption time, right? So we've had to really step back, refine our business model. And in doing that, now it's okay, what is the formula that will enable us to scale with this offering, with this position, with this kind of, I would say, product market fit specifically. So we are in a new phase of our business, which is really exciting for me. I think for founders too, if I can say this, I think we have to give ourselves, we have permission. I mean, we own the business, but we need to give ourselves permission to evolve. We need to give ourselves permission to relook at our business model in a way that allows us to really get the highest value for the time, the effort, and the resources. And in a moment of disruption, disrupt. And it's uncomfortable and it may feel like you're having to cut your losses, but we have been through that journey, Jay, honestly. So we're at a place now where our business looks very different.
Mm.
We are really establishing some baselines for what is it going to take in this new world to scale and to build the future.
Incredible. So really one of the bottlenecks you're working through now is again more on that predictability side for
Yes.
this new day and age, having a system where you can pull a lever, know that you have predictable leads coming in.
Yes.
So just
Yes.
incredible that as you continue to grow through the times, there are innovations that have to be implemented into the business. And that's what you guys are doing now. So just incredible to hear that from you, someone that's seen so much success. And I think it's phenomenal for our listeners to hear that, right? Having a founder come on the show that's been successful for so long, but still needs to implement, it still needs to make changes and navigate with the flow of technology and society the way it's going
Yes.
now. So on that front, Melissa, what does the team look like as far as the sales process? Is this something you're still keeping close knit with a small team, or do you have a sales team and marketing team that are helping you push things forward? What does that look like?
We're small and mighty, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's the right now where we are is building out and actually a new sales team. So we've had a lot of transition, and we're looking at what is it going to take to sell in this particular market for this particular offering. Part of that also looks like going back to who is your who. And our who is also evolving in terms of who we're selling to, looking at different segments, which may require a different type of sales leader. So when you're in that foundational, going back to the core, you're asking some of these strategic questions. So a lot of what was, I won't even speak to because we're in a new era and we're looking at who's the right fit and building the right team for this business model where we're going.
Love it. I love it. So is that one of the challenges that you had to face was saying, okay, it's time to
Mhm.
pivot. And then with the pivot, it was like, okay, the people that we have in seat now aren't looking to grow with that side of the business. So really kind of change that up, revamp it, and now looking for that talent to bring in this side of the business and what you're doing moving forward.
Oh, yes, yes, because you have to think about, who you're selling to
Right.
and what is not only the sales cycle, but what's the psyche of that individual? What
Yeah.
level of is it thought leadership expertise that's needed? Is it just sales expertise that's needed? Is it a blend of both because of the buyer and what they need to understand about the buyer? Right? So some sales leaders will actually have relationships or have had sat in that seat, so they understand the dynamics of the buyer. When you're selling to enterprise, particularly in the past, we've been very Fortune 500 heavy.
Yeah.
There's a whole different dynamic to selling to that buyer and closing the sales cycle because it's typically very long,
Very.
right? And you want to get in as high as possible to be able to build that value and impact early. So
Absolutely.
there's a lot of dynamics to it, but I think that the nuts and bolts of it is getting the right people in the right seat,
Yes.
understanding what is it going to take to identify the right decision maker, and then who are the right people who have the skills and the aptitude to be able to connect and close the deal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it sounds like some of the challenges right now that you're facing and the bottlenecks are going to be really around that predictability on the lead gen side, building out the sales team, bringing on some setters and closers to really move forward with the vision that you have now for
Mhm.
Velvet Suite. And besides those, are there anything else that you have on mind, or are those really the main bottlenecks that you're looking to break through throughout the rest of this year moving forward?
I would say those are core. Those are core. It's fundamentals. I think that's really at the end of the day, it's how do you master the fundamentals and then how do you experiment and quickly test and learn and pivot? That's the methodology. So the sooner you can at low cost get something out in the market that gives you feedback to know if it's worth continuing to invest in or if you need to modify it, tweak it, or you've discovered something you didn't even know, that to me is a smarter way, particularly in this environment. There's just so much uncertainty and there's a lot of hesitancy to invest in quote unquote learning product, right? Because everyone feels like they know what they're doing and they already have something. So it's been our opportunity to reframe the problem and then quickly test and learn. And we have a great track record of outcomes, right? So we're not creating something from scratch and saying, "Hey, do you think this will fly?" But it still is it's a new day. We're in a total 2025 has changed the game for so many reasons for so many people.
Absolutely. So with that, I would love to hear the vision here. If you could paint us a picture for the listeners, Melissa, what is the vision here? What does the rest of 2025 look like? It's clear as day that, you are growing with the times and are really looking to innovate and scale effectively and efficiently. What are you laser focused on? Obviously, we have a couple items with the lead gen and the sales side, but what are you really laser focused on for the rest of this year for that growth?
I'm excited about the launch of athleadership. This is a new concept in the world. So to me, that is the vision is that it becomes a category that people see that there has to be a new way for people to lead. Leadership isn't broken. It's the system we've had no longer serves us. It doesn't. And so, if you want proof of that, look at the levels of burnout, look at the mental anxiety, look at the over obesity and the health issues, look at the engagement scores within Gallup, which does annual engagement scores. Engagement is it's 10-year low. It's even lower than COVID. So people are just totally checked out, but yet we spend so much time at work. So there is a definite deficit in this space. I'm not here just to promote a product. I think that I really am a believer in the fact that leadership changes the world.
Yeah.
And when it's bad, it changes the world. And so my hope is that, and my vision is that this becomes a new way to lead for generations. I'm not going to be here forever. I hope I'm not working this business forever. Say it like it's great, but I have a life, and this
Absolutely.
to me is like the legacy. I think that to me is bigger. Big, it's got to be bigger than me for me to even be interested in it.
Absolutely. I could not agree more. And just incredible to hear that from you that's had so much success and now really looking to continue to push forward on that success. So I have a few more questions for you here before we wrap up the show, Melissa. And truly, it's been an honor having you on so far. The one I have for you here is how you see the development of the industry coming in the future and the evolution of it. So the leadership development industry as a whole, where do you see it going in the coming years, especially with how much it's already changed, especially on top of the fact that you have the leadership approach? What are
Mhm.
you doing to keep yourself at the forefront of the evolution there?
I think there's so many factors to it, but one of the core things that I'm really digging in is into the neuroscience and performance psychology of this. This is backed by science. There is an element, we have AI coming up and everything, can be artificially developed, and then it's what about the human piece. And I think that there's a component, there are three S's. I like alliterations.
Yeah.
There's the science to leadership, there is the story, which is people's real life experiences, and then there's the soul of it. It's the feeling and the heart of a leader, and I think that's what draws people to sports. Right, you think about sports, it's a unifier no matter what age you are, no matter where you live, no matter what political party you are. If you're in the stadium, it's one team, it's all in, right? And so there is powerful analogies, but also based in true performance psychology to sport that we as leaders can learn from. It's a great place if you think about if you ever played a sport growing up, right? You learned things that helped you deal with people, deal with goal setting, deal with loss, like all of those things. So when I think about the future of leadership development, it becomes less of an experiment and it becomes more of real life. And it brings in real people's stories, their personalized journey. It brings in the science that helps support that and substantiate that, but then it also brings in the soul, which is that passion, that brand desire that you want to be a part. You want to be a part of this crew. And I think when we stand up more leaders that look like that, people are like, yeah, I want to be an athlete or I want to be a leader too. When you don't have that, people are like, that doesn't look like anything I want to do. Keep me away from that. And so that tells you something right there.
Absolutely. I love it. And then just one more question here, Melissa, to wrap up the show. And that's going to be on the advice side. What is the best piece of advice that you can offer to our listeners that are tuning in right now and just heard your incredible story and journey and what you're looking to achieve in the future here? What can you leave them with before we wrap up today?
What can I share? There's so many things and quotes that I like that I live by and that have impacted me. But if I'm very transparent, like that, I'm in my home office and I was upstairs in my son's bedroom just before this call, and I was just like, stop time. He's getting so big. I want you to stop time, and I don't have that control.
Yeah.
But what I do believe our purpose is, and purpose to me is huge, finding that is to leave it better than you found it. By whatever you do, whether it's picking up the trash, like I tell them to do every day, his chores, or whether it's getting out on a stage and speaking or running a play on the field, or supporting your boss, leave it better than you found it. Like that to me is ultimately the outcome that we want for our lives and our legacy and our leadership, is that it's better because we were there.
I absolutely love that. With that right there, that is going to wrap up another inspiring episode of Founders Future. And just a massive thank you to you, Melissa, for coming on the show and sharing your remarkable journey and your insights with myself and the listeners. And again, just truly an honor and a pleasure to have you on. I know you're going to continue to do some amazing things with the passion and the energy and the drive that you have. So again, thank you so much. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to Founders Future wherever you get your favorite podcasts, and also learn more about Velvet Suite at velvetsuite.com. And also follow Melissa on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/in/Melissa Dawn Simpkins. For more resources and insights, you can visit us here at closers.io, where we help businesses accelerate their growth through trained appointment setters and world-class marketing systems. Until then, keep climbing, and we will see you on the next one.